You ready?
Yeah. What's
You
with
ready?
these homies dissing my girl?
What do they got up front? This is the intro now. Everyone's going to be confused. Welcome to Scratch That. Let's talk about this.
We're not talking about Weezer. Nope. Not yet.
We are like setting off the bar very confusing for the audience. Like, wait, they're going to talk about Weezer, the Blue Album? No. We're not talking about Weezer today. No.
Not yet. Not that. We're not there yet.
As if you couldn't tell, it's Pride Month, everybody. It's Pride Month, everybody.
That's what's up.
This reference is going to be so confusing to anybody who doesn't follow that TikToker.
I don't follow that TikToker, so I'm a little confused.
Oh, you don't follow that little TikToker that, like, you know, draws the animals and stuff, like the cute little animals? I send them to you occasionally.
I think you. Oh no, you do. Yeah, you do.
Yeah. No,
I remember.
I don't recall the name, but like I'll try and find this while I'm editing so I could like credit the user, have a little screenshot there. But yeah. If you couldn't tell today, we're prideful.
Yeah. Got my rainbow collared shirt on.
And I got my rainbow. We got the pride flag over here, proudly. All that stuff. I'm trying to segue into this, to trying to find a way to talk about this. But we did say last week we were going to talk about But I'm a Cheerleader.
Pretty phenomenal movie. Pretty good.
A nice little film made in 1999. Can you believe that?
Yeah, that's a little wild. I didn't realize it was like made, that late. Not late, like that early.
Yeah, no, for sure. It has a very interesting history because it's very well known in like the ratings board community, like, the ratings of movie, like rated R, rated X, rated PG-13. It had a very odd history because the ratings board basically came back to the director and said, hey, so, like, the stuff of the females kissing, it has to be, like, kind of blurred and shit. And the director wasn't very happy about that because how come when, like, a straight couple is, like, shown, being romantic, that's fine. But, like, two women are doing it, like, all hell breaks loose,
The ratings board is mad goofy. You ever watch a B movie? That doesn't have an influence on people? Oh, but two girls kissing. That's too far. Bruh.
Yeah, dude, the CW was like totally in the early 2000s, like, we're going to test the limits of how many people can kiss on screen that are the same sex to make it edgy.
To be edgy.
Can you imagine that there was a time in the early 2000s
my girl.
when the CW was considered edgy because they showed females or males kissing on screen, mainly females, but
Shout out the CW in the early 2000s. After
Yeah,
Flash season 2, they all went downhill.
I mean, it's a little problematic because they used it for shock, not really to actually represent, LGBT causes. So, like, I don't, like, sometimes, like, on Veronica Mars, like, there was a point to it, for sure, depending on who wrote whatever it was. The CW was kind of random, which also, to educate people, it was originally, like, called UPN, not CW, for people, like, born in, like, the 1990s, 2000s. And then, like, I know it as CW now, for sure.
Yeah, same.
But back to But I'm a Cheerleader. So, yeah, it has a very interesting history because of that. It wasn't a huge success at the box office. I mean, like, it did okay numbers back then. It made its money. But, like, it gained, like, a cult following later on because a lot of people in the LGBT community were like, holy shit, this movie is fucking awesome, dude.
That's really good.
But, like, I shall run down the basic plot for you. I'll give it a little intro. Megan, played by Natasha Lyonne, is a simple high school cheerleader who lives a simple life with her Christian parents. She has it all, a boyfriend, friends, and lots of cheerleaders. This will be important if you watch the movie.
Her boyfriend sucks at kissing.
He
Way
does.
Too much
He
tongue.
does.
Way too
He
much
does.
tongue.
Everything is going smoothly for Megan until one day her parents bring, Mike, somebody from True Directions, played by RuPaul Charles himself, which is another thing to know about this movie, to help her redirect her life. Not a pun, I promise, everyone. Megan's family not just Megan's family and her friends accuse her of all being a lesbian. Not going to say what they actually say in the movie. Go watch the movie to hear what they actually say. I'm not going to say it. But Megan doesn't understand. She's doesn't kind of denies it, but also at the same time plays devil's advocate and goes, I don't see the problem with if I liked girls. And all of her friends are like, ew, that's gross, whatever, that typical like stupid reaction that all homophobes have for sure. But Megan is sent on her way to true directions to go through the steps to become straight like God intended. And what follows is a nice little love story between Megan and Graham, played by Clea Duvall. And Graham helps Megan slowly find her true self instead of what True Directions wants her to be. All right.
It's very much an enemies turn lover story, but it's really good. It's really solid.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's a really solid movie. I mean, there's definitely a lot to talk about. I definitely want to shout out right away the fact that a young Dante Bosco Dolph in here is killing it, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Not only like is like Dante Bosco in his acting prime, he's giving it his all, but he's actually on the surface level. You think he's like a side character, right? But if you pay attention, he's very crucial to the plot of Megan.
He drives the plot pretty much forward a good chunk of the time.
Because at first, like, he's there to like show that like, oh, people can get kicked out of this place. Mm-hmm. Like they can get kicked out. Like they can be set an example. But then, like, later on, spoilers for somebody who hasn't seen But I'm a Cheerleader, just so you know.
About 99. You had 23 years to watch this movie.
So, you're getting warned right now. Spoilers will be throughout this whole episode. Yeah, for sure.
We probably should have put this at the start of the episode.
But, like, whatever. If you haven't watched But I'm a Cheerleader, you're missing out.
It's a pretty good movie.
But anyways, I digress. So basically, like, Dante Bosco Gun comes back. Dolph comes back because Megan gets kicked out of the camp for, messing around with, they find out that she and the gang, like, went and, like, somebody snitches on her.
They went to a gay bar, someone snitched.
Yeah, like, and then, like, she kind of, there's actually this, like, cool, like, camp run by these two dudes who, like, used to be a True Directions, but now they like, they're like, hey, we'll accept you. We don't care. We're gay too. And, we love you guys. So come on over here. And, they got the pride. It has so many pride flags that I was like, holy rainbow throw up.
This is the old school pride flag, by the way. The one that's modeled after the American
flag.
Yeah. Not the more updated one.
Yeah. So this is like the old school pride flag that they have like everywhere. And mind you, every chance they get in frame,
they put it in.
They show. They have it on a coffee cup. They have it on their headband.
Doesn't Dante Bosco have like a pride themed like pajama set?
Yes, he's wearing a pajama suit.
It's like when you watch the Sam Raimi trilogy of Spider-Man movies, you just see the American flag everywhere. It's exactly like that.
I'm pretty sure that was Sony that told him to do that. By the way,
it was because like after 9/11.
Also that too.
Yeah,
as well.
9/11.
So like it is believable that like New York would have
the
American flag up after 9/11. I mean, that's a very interesting film because it doesn't really talk about 9/11, but you can sense the energy of like that's what happened when you watch it. But yeah, anyways, I digress. Back to But I'm a Cheerleader. Weird tangents over here we have today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so basically like Dolph helps her like also kind of go back like, hey, you think you've lost your way, but like, Graham is like the person you love, not like what they want you to say. And I think that's one of the key messages about this movie in general from beginning to end is you should chase after what you love, whether that's a woman, that's a man, that's a they, them. And they weren't using that, but I think that in secret, because like, that wasn't necessarily a popular thing to say back then, I think the director was specifically saying you should love whoever you want.
Yeah,
for sure. I in some ways this movie is in a majority of ways this movie is very like ahead of its time. Now obviously there's not trans representation in this film, unfortunately, and that's a shame. However, I think this movie makes up for that a lot by representing a lot of different things. I'll let you have the floor here a little bit to speak a little. I'm sorry, I'm getting all deep over
No,
here.
you're good. I feel bad for interrupting you, but no, it's cute. I like the way it's directed. The writing is really good. It really kind of explores the fact, like, yeah, just because people don't want you to be who you are doesn't mean you have to let them tell
True.
you what to do. Just be yourself.
Right, and I think that's also something very well done. Is like, it's very clear from the beginning that Megan doesn't even care. Like, she's like, well, what's the problem if I like girls? I don't see the problem. You know, even she's like kind of at first, she's kind of on the fence. And I think that's kind of a nice little thing that they play with also Mike's character. Because, like, Mike at first is like, he's kind of like reading off a script. He's like, oh, you know, I was too, you know, this, you know, I liked also men. But as you see throughout the movie, everybody's kind of on the fence that's kind of like supposedly straight. You know, they start seeing, you know, the main, like, housewoman's, like, son, and they're like, oh, la la, hello. They're like, oh, what is going on here?
My God.
I'm trying to figure out, what was his name? Was it, like, it was something, like, specific. I'm trying to figure out.
Was it Jared?
Was it? Yeah, it was Jared, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It wasn't. That could be wrong, but oh well.
Also, it was Rock.
No, it was Rock. That's what it was. Rock.
Yeah, okay.
There you
Rock.
go. Okay.
Yeah,
I was like, Jared is a character, but I was like, that's not it. He was Rock.
I got the whole cast list up here.
Yeah, that was a funny thing that they play with because, like, Rock can't be who he wants because his mother won't accept him for who he is.
So he works
sad.
there, but, like, you know, every guy hits on him.
Oh, every guy, like, knows it. They're like, even Mike is like, kind of like, no, wait, I can't. Maybe
the forbidden fruit.
I want to shout out RuPaul for his acting capabilities and shown in this movie, which I don't think RuPaul has acted too much outside of drag. And, like, here, like, the way it's done, I'm really impressed with the way he was able to tackle this, like, clearly a gay man who can't be gay, because I would love to have a prequel movie of, like, what happened to Mike? How did Mike get here? I so desperately want to know what was his backstory. Like, there's so many cool characters in this movie that could just have their own spin-off movie of, like, okay, how did this character get to, like, run this camp? Okay, how did this character get here? And we do get bits and pieces of, like, okay, we do learn about, like, Graham's story. Graham's story is the saddest story here, because not only does her father not accept her, he's willing to remark homophobic remarks to her face.
Doesn't he threaten to cut her off too?
Cut off her funds, not pay for college, and doesn't care who hears it. And also, he says a bunch of racist shit too. Mind you, he's saying a bunch of racist ass shit too. I'm trying to. It's in here somewhere what his name is, but I lost where his name was. But, like, it's crazy. This movie is.
It was the Jewish character, right?
There was a Jewish character. I believe there was also. I'm trying to think of what his name was. I've lost where his name is, so I forgive me on that one. No, I don't remember. Wait, no, I'm sorry. I'm reading the actual legal names. I have not been reading the character names. I'm trying to figure out what his name was. But, like, you know, his parents, like, didn't even say anything. They were just kind of, like, just chilling there, like. Yeah, remember, he was the one who was like, oh, you know, like, I hung out in the locker rooms and something. I'm trying to remember what it was that, like, the woman had had them, like, say. I think it was a root. That's what it was. It was
what the root was.
So, like, basically the concept of the root was, like, okay, what made you, like, you know.
What made you gay?
Gay, I guess, you know. Because, like, I'm not going to say the word that they say because, like, as kind of drawing, like, this, like, middle ground of, like,
also, if you
I could say it, but, like, I'm not going to say it.
I hear you. Also, if you watch this movie, it's gonna kind of give you off Cat in the Hat vibes. Talking the Mike Myers one.
Well, okay,
Aesthetically, it kind of matches, and it freaked me out the first time I watched it.
So I want to address that because the art style is very like John Waters, and you probably don't know who John Waters is, and that's okay. So like the color palettes of this movie really utilize the colors blue and pink to like talk about, you know, gender roles and like how like gender roles can be like flip-flopped, but like people can have the perception that like, okay, let's say a woman should clean and a man should like fix a car, right? And chop wood. The movie is very clear that like, you know, it's addressing that these are the gender roles. And I feel like a lot of people still like who are like, you know, ignorant still think that way. Like, oh, you know, a woman should cook and clean for me, and you know, I should be like the man of the house. And I think this movie really like shows that like, you know, people can do whatever the fuck they want and like screw gender roles, like be whatever the fuck you want. Right. And considering this was made in 1999, I'm like,
it's so ahead of its time too.
Holy shit! For Christ's sake, like, how were you guys this ahead of the time?
They were able to get away with this too,
and they really do. I mean, it's a very like deep, unique message that I'm like, this still resonates today, and I think that's what makes this film like
timeless.
Timeless for sure. Yeah.
It is kind of a time capsule of 99, but the message is pretty much timeless.
Yeah, that is something I wanted to discuss is while the movie has a lot of beautiful messages, some of the homophobic stereotypes are a bit dated. Like, okay, I mean, whatever. Obviously, there's some signs about STDs and, you know, like, that was a stereotype back then. Yeah. However, people have been educated now that that's not. I mean, yes, there still is a misconception that, you know, oh, only gay people get AIDS or whatever.
Like what happened to Eazy-E?
Yeah. Dude, can we just talk about that for a second? Because Suge Knight went on Jimmy Kimmel. And with a straight face told Jimmy Kimmel, oh, yeah, Eazy-E was injected with AIDS. And everybody was laughing at it. They were laughing at this as if it was a joke. And he was looking seriously into the camera. Fuck him for that, honestly. Suge Knight was the hip-hop supervillain of the 90s. You cannot change my mind.
He's the Jared Leto of his time.
Everybody agrees in the hip. Even Dr. Dre, like the hardest dude you know, who like talks about gangster rap and like looks into the camera and is like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna beat your ass up, I'm muscular. Oh fuck no, Suge Knight. Hell no, dude. Fuck that dude. Oh man, but you know. Anyways, But I'm a Cheerleader is it's a little dated with some of its like references. I think like the music, however, definitely is not dated the way they utilized it. Because some of that music, like that beginning song, Chick Magnet, I don't remember the name. I'll throw up the actual name of the song. It's a little hard to find because of copyright reasons.
God
official
damn it,
version.
copyright.
But there's like a cover out there that I found that I'll throw up. But that song was actually used, I believe, in a Quentin Tarantino double feature, the Grindhouse movie thing. Again, I'll also throw up the name of it. I don't recall the name of that one.
It wouldn't be Kill Bill, would it?
No, not Kill Bill. This was like early 2000s that this was used.
Oh.
That song was utilized after. But yeah. Because there's actually a French version of it out there. The one that they use in But I'm a Cheerleader is the English version, I believe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this movie it's great.
Mm-hmm.
I think, for me personally, it was. So it's a very interesting story that I'll tell here real quick. That I don't think I told in my my coming out video is like, the only real reason I had like seeked this movie out is like one day I was sitting around and I'm like, I finished Avatar: The Last Airbender. I've watched Hook. I've watched all this stuff with Dante Bosco in it.
You had an
Let me-
obsession with him for like a week.
I still have an
straight.
obsession with him because you know what? I stand Dante Bosco. He's one of the best actors of our generation.
He's
I
a
can
pretty
say
good
that.
actor.
I can
He's
say
pretty
that
good. He's pretty talented.
with a doubt. He is one of the best Filipino actors out there. Like, he really is. I'm serious. Like, dead serious. I can say that without a doubt. But, like, I was like, oh, Dante Bosco's in here? Oh, RuPaul's in here? Oh, it's free on Tubi. Let me go check this movie out. Uh-oh. I just awakened something in me, didn't I?
This better not awaken anything in me.
Yeah, that's basically what happened. For anybody that's seen Community, I literally turned into the dean from Community. I'm like, this better not awaken anything in me. And like, all of a sudden, I'm watching a movie that is making me feel like as like a bisexual man, not out at that point, but like I'm listening to like everything they're saying in this movie, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, I'm crying, I'm laughing. The movie's funny, by the way. We didn't mention that.
It's a comedy.
The movie is funny. There is humor into it, which is why the movie at the time.
It's a drama with comedy.
That's actually, I read most of the reviews from back in the day. They did not like the comedy. They did not like the comedy.
I think it works.
I think we're able to laugh now at it, but we have to understand that there was still like issues with LGBT rights back then. And
I kind of think of it as like a BoJack Horseman kind of deal. Like later on, where like it's more of a drama with comedy elements into it.
Yeah.
And I think it works really well. It works well for BoJack Horseman too, which I think we should talk about it at some point.
Yeah. I'll watch it. I've seen at least the first season. I remember watching the first season.
Good.
I saw the first season back then. It's been so long though.
That
I need to
season's
rewatch.
more of a comedy with drama in it though. That season.
Yeah, because like when the movie is serious, the movie gets serious. Like you can tell from the score. And when the movie is like trying to joke with you, the score kind of has like, gets those little bells going on and like kind of like lets you know, hey, this is a joke, but not like overtly like, like a Mike Myers skit or something, like Cat in the Hat or something. The movie is subtle, and if you get the joke, you get the joke. And then the movie moves on before you can even think about it. But yeah, like this movie really spoke to me because like, it just did. Like, it just clicked with me right away, and I was like, and then I just wrote this like long ass review about the movie on my Facebook, and like sort of came out because like I was like, well, like I had felt guilty about like, being attracted to men in the past because of other people's like visions of what they wanted from me and what they said to me. And like, I thought about it for a good month, and I was like, I just wrote it down one day, like, a coming out letter, and I definitely like attributed this movie to majority of that. That's that. I mean, this is a great movie.
It is really
I
good.
think that this movie will help tons of people who want to find themselves, and whenever they decide to come out, they will do it on their own time for generations, honestly, for sure. Yeah. I think that's all I got,
It's really
we covered
solid.
everything, really.
Pretty much. Yeah. What would you rate this?
Objectively, there's like little flaws, so I would give it.
Oh, watch
personally,
the director's cut, by the way. Don't watch the
Oh,
original.
yes. Thank you for mentioning the director's cut. So, like, the version on Tubi is the standard edition. So, like, if you want to make sure that you like the movie or not, and you don't want to pay for it off the bat, I would recommend you watch it on Tubi or wherever you have a streaming service, because it's free on Vudu, it's free on here, it's free on there mostly. So do check it out for free, mostly with ads. It's not a terrible experience. That's how I watched it at first. And I do highly recommend afterwards, if you like the movie, do watch the director's cut, because the director's cut has 2 or 3 new scenes that are real quick. And all the stuff that, like, the scenes of, like, Natasha Lyonne and Graham kissing are instead like blurred out. They're more like closer and like looks a lot better. The scenes look a lot better, and it only came out like last year or something like that. The director's cut. It's in 4K. It looks pretty good. I showed him the 4K cut. I was like, yeah, dude, if I'm gonna sit you down to watch this, you're probably just gonna watch the director's cut.
Yeah, it's a good movie. I pushed the director's cut. One of my friends. He was asking, oh, hey, I'm looking for new movies. You got anything? I'm like, oh, I recommend. My friend showed me this. I'm gonna recommend it to you because I think you'd like it. He's like, okay, no, dope. All right.
Yeah, no, I mean it's definitely a movie I would strongly recommend. It's in that 9 out of 10 for me. We're going off the director's cut, by the way.
Yeah.
Like I would give the original about the same score because it's barely any different.
9.5 for me. I think it's pretty solid. It's just the Cat in the Hat aesthetic kind of fucked with me a little bit.
Yeah,
You get used to it. It just kind of.
I was kind of just like, I was like in for the ride because the movie set the tone within the first minute.
Yeah.
With the whole cheerleader like montage at the beginning, I was like, oh, okay, so you're a comedy. I get it. Okay, I'm in for it. And then I kind of did a little bit of research with like the color palette thing, so I was like, oh, okay, so that's what that's all about. Okay, all right.
What was it about?
You know what I said about the gender roles thing. That's a big thing about the color palette. There's other reasons why, like, you know, class and stuff like that I won't, you know, I personally don't think I'm educated enough to get into that right now. But like, you know, there's like, I strongly recommend the documentary about like the ratings board system where she talks about it, the director.
It's weird because the rating board is just ran by a bunch of parents.
Basically, really. And I can't believe that, like, here's a funny little tidbit for you about the ratings board as we close out. So there's this movie. You're gonna laugh. You know Trey Parker and Matt Stone, right?
Is it the Team America?
No.
No.
There's this movie they did before that.
Is it basketball?
Nope. Damn. And I could be if I'm incorrect on who directed this movie, I'll put it here now, the Wikipedia page. Okay, let's go forward. Orgasmo. There's this movie called Orgasmo. This is a real movie. Stay with me. Okay. So the movie is about this Mormon who becomes a porn star. This is a real movie. I watched it. It's a movie. Stay with me. So basically he becomes Orgasmo. And when he becomes Orgasmo for the porn set, he puts a dildo because he doesn't want to use his real penis. This is the actual plot. It's not as funny as it sounds, I promise you. But because they didn't have the budget to cut those scenes, the ratings board said, hey, you showed a dildo. NC-17. Instantly. No negotiation. Guess what movie comes out a little later with a dildo in it? Scary Movie. Rated R. Isn't that funny? The hypocrisy of the ratings board system. Like, oh, you know, these Wayne brothers, you know. And no disrespect to the Wayne brothers, by the way. The early Wayne's brothers. Scary Movie was a fucking great movie.
What's that?
But I just want to show the hypocrisy how the ratings board will, like, give to a household name a rated R rating. But some, like, low-level comedians at the time, unknown.
NC-17.
And I there's nothing else graphic about the movie. Nothing. That's the only reason. I'm not joking with you. It's a pretty standard rated R comedy. Lots of fucking crass humor. Pretty standard shit for whatever it is, you know? It's not that great of a movie. I'm just going to let you know. And I apologize to any Orgasmo fans out there. I can't say that name without keeping a straight face. It's not that great of a movie. I'm sorry. I mean, like, for the time, I'm sure it was fucking great. But I'm like, man, this movie is so dated. Ron Jeremy's in it.
The legend himself?
Oh, do you not know about Ron Jeremy? Do I have to tell you?
Not right now. You can tell me off camera.
Okay.
Never mind. I rescind that comment.
Guys, don't cancel Alvaro.
I didn't know.
He didn't know. This is the clip. He didn't know. Alvaro didn't know about Ron Jeremy.
I didn't know.
Anyways, as we close, check out But I'm a Cheerleader.
Solid movie.
By the way, support the podcast Dante Bosco is doing with Janet Varney. Avatar Braving the Elements. Apologies. Avatar Braving the Elements. A rewatch podcast of Avatar The Last Airbender.
Cute shit.
Yeah. And happy Pride Month, guys.
Yeah.
But Pride. You know what? Not just Pride in June. Pride all month, all year long. Really.
Pride.
Honestly,
all year
have
long.
pride in yourself all year long.
Walmart, why'd you make that weird ice cream? Probably shouldn't say that.
You know what? Pop off, G. You're talking about the Pride one, right?
Yeah, and the Juneteenth.
Yeah, I'm like, you're not talking about the Juneteenth one.
I'm talking about
right?
both.
You're talking about both, right? Okay. Pop off, G. Yeah, I agree. But yeah.
And Offset left the Migos.
What about the Migos?
Offset left the Migos.
We could talk about Migos because they have a conflicting history with the LGBT community.
Oh.
Okay, you need me to explain this as I'm trying to close out the podcast?
No, we can talk about it a different day.
Okay.
Offset done left the Migos though.
Okay, alrighty.
I can't watch that episode of Atlanta anymore as like I used to because it's just they're just there.
All right.
Close as I keep talking.
Alvaro, is there anywhere, anybody, can anywhere find you anywhere, anybody?
Twitter, and that's it. I don't remember what it is.
You're on Twitter. I'll throw up a picture of a screenshot of your profile.
I retweet a lot more than I actually post.
You tweet. You like go on your phone, sir, and you tweet on your hands. Who the fuck called me?
Me.
Excuse me. Hold on. This is the Twitter. This is the Sphere. I'm trying to do an Anthony Fantano reference and I can't remember it.
Anthony Blantano here.
Yes, that guy that thinks that Thundercats. Is what it is.
Isn't sexy.
Yes, I know. We're gonna stop bringing that up because
it's sexy.
I feel good standing next to you, baby girl.
Oh, speaking of that. It's available on Amazon in the red vinyl for like $30.
Oh,
so
it is?
If you don't have it, get it.
It is now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because Pharrell's promoting his merch on the Amazon thing because of the festival he did recently.
Hug me, bring it in.
Woo!
Won't you listen up a little? Isn't that funny that that's a dude from South Park on that song?
Fucking Randy Marsh.
I'm like, that movie fucked
Spoilers
with me.
for Rescue Rangers. Have you seen it?
Yeah, but you spoiled it, not me.
No, spoiler real quick. Randy Marsh is in the movie.
That doesn't really spoil too much. But, like, considering what the cameo really is in the movie, I'm like, I mean, it's not like he's a crucial part to the movie or anything.
I know, but he just shows up, and it freaked me out at first. I didn't think he was going to be there. Anyway.
Yeah, but that falls under the parody thing, dude.
I know.
Also, the embargo is done. We can spoil that movie if we wanted to, but we're not going to. The embargo has definitely lifted. TikTok did not even follow the embargo. Literally the day of, they were posting spoilers. Yeah. Literally the day of, as I'm watching the movie and took a break to go to the bathroom.
Damn.
I fucking got spoilers.
That's your fault. That's your fault for looking at your damn phone.
How was I supposed to know that they were gonna spoil stuff for me?
You don't go on your phone while you're watching a movie.
I didn't know that. The rules.
That's just a rule you don't speak of.
I
didn't
unspoken know.
Rule. It's like standing next to someone. It's like going to the urinal next to someone. If there's plenty of open space, go somewhere else.
I didn't know the rules.
All right.
Okay.
We've been trying to close this out for
all right.
3 minutes.
Andrew Stittle, you found me here on the Scratch That. Let's talk about this episode. I mean, I got a vast library of movie reviews podcasts all over here. Watch one of the old episodes too. We talk about Gus Johnson on one of those episodes. We talk about this over here. We talk about that over there. I make it sound like we're talking about him in a positive light, by the way. It didn't.
Fuck that dude.
I make it sound like we're like, yes.
Gus Johnson is mid as hell.
Yes.
His career's definitely over.
Yes, it's over. But yes, Stella Medley on Twitch, and yeah, we're out of here.
Yeah. I mostly post about JoJo's on my Twitter, so
And yes, that's that. Oh, also, you know what? I don't throw up my Twitter, but I'll throw it up there too at the end here as well.
You should follow it.
Yeah, you should. It's mostly just a Janet Varney fan account at this point.
It very much is. I'd be scrolling through Twitter. I'm like, oh, what did he post? What did he post?
I did put that in my bio now. I'm like, it's mostly just a JV Club Janet Varney fan account.
Goofy.
It's like anytime I see Coruscant like content, I'm like, retweet. So yeah, everybody have a happy Pride. all year long, every day that you're here on Earth. And that's all, folks. See y'all. We love y'all. See y'all later.